The Elder Scrolls Online Update 45, otherwise known as Fallen Banners, has officially arrived, and with it comes a ton of changes. We're talking everything from dungeons to balancing to quality of life changes and plenty more. If you want a full, comprehensive look at the update, I made a video covering the Fallen Banners PTS a little while ago. Not much has really changed in terms of patch notes, so I'll link that video in the description if you want to check it out, but I figured for this video I could give my thoughts on it from a healer perspective. So, my name's Doc, and let's get right into this. Let's start with our two new dungeons, Lep Seclusa and Exiled Redoubt. From a healing perspective, I gotta say, these were a lot of fun. Like with a lot of other recent dungeons we've seen, there's a lot going on in terms of attacks and hazards from your enemies. When it comes to actual mechanics, it's pretty on par with other DLC dungeons. While I haven't completed HM yet, I wouldn't say these are as mechanic intensive as something like Scalecaller Peak, but I would say that they're probably more akin to like Red Petal Bastion, and that you'll probably be asking yourself, hey bro, how many more things can you fit on my screen? Despite the chaos though, since they're not quite as mechanically intensive, your job as a healer should actually be pretty simple. That doesn't necessarily mean though that your job will be easy. All those attacks and hazards actually kinda hurt for a dungeon, and your party is gonna need a decent amount of healing to stay in the fight without too much trouble. I'm not ashamed to admit that even on normal difficulty, I did actually have to lock in a little bit. Of course, it's a new dungeon, people will get better at it. Even then though, I am still super excited to try out the hard modes for these. And if you guys want like a healer guide or anything like that for these, if these HMs turn out to be crazy hard, let me know and maybe I can make something like that. This also seems to be a great time to talk about the sets that were added with Update 45. Most of them seem pretty decent. I don't really see any of these shaking up the meta or anything, though if you're someone who enjoys heavy attack builds, I think there actually might be a couple sets in here worth grabbing. When it comes to us healers, there's really only one set that I would say could be good for us, and so the set that we're going to place our focus on is one called Fledgling's Nest, found in Lep Seclusa. This gives us a few stat lines for some max magicka and magicka recovery, which is nice. Its 5-piece effect is that whenever you cast an ability that leaves an effect on the ground, you'll create a nest. It's 8 meters wide for like 10 seconds. When you and your allies are standing in this nest, you will gain some magicka and stamina recovery. By the way, that magicka and stamina recovery isn't a named buff. So it should stack with major and minor intellect and endurance, just a heads up. When you or allies leave the effect, you gain minor courage for 10 seconds, giving you guys some extra weapon and spell damage. It actually works a lot like the Arcanist domain skill, and while I do think that it may be a tad redundant, I could actually see someone making a pretty cool Arcanist support build with this. If you took Fledgling, paired it with Olorime, and used the Sentinel monster set, you could make a nice little, hey, stand here for a ton of buffs build. I don't think it'd be particularly strong, but it might be a fun one to use, so let me know if you end up doing something like that. Next up, let's talk about class, skill, and set balancing. I mentioned it in the PTS video, but yeah, there's really not a whole lot of class balancing. In fact, there's really next to none. The screenshot you're looking at right now is of every class change in this entire update. There were some changes to crouching, some scribe skills, a few weapon skills, but the only things that really impacted us as healers are these few. Well, these are really mostly bug fixes. The most notable one I'll mention right away is the Arcanist change. Wow, we've really been talking a lot about Arcanist in this video. So the Remedy Cascade skill and its morphs got a change where the skill now prioritizes low health allies. If you're unfamiliar with this skill, it's the Arcanist Healing Beam. I think this is a nice little quality of life change to the Arcanist kit. It probably won't make a huge difference in terms of your build and all that, but I honestly really like the skill, so if I have a chance to use it during some sort of heal check or something, I'm certainly not going to complain. Necromancers got a nerf to Unnerving Boneyard, which, while I don't think will really change anything in PvE to my knowledge, It might have some sort of effect on my PvP supports that like to play Necro and utilize that skill. Finally, Sorcerer got some bug fixes that came with Crystal Weapons, Encase, and Storm Atro. The Crystal Weapon bug has happened to me once or twice, and while it wasn't like game breaking or anything, I am pretty glad that they took care of that. To be honest, I never really noticed the Encase bug, but it's also because I typically use Vibrant Shroud as a healer, so I probably wasn't really paying super close attention to Major Maim. I don't really have any opinions on the Storm Atro fix, as we healers tend to use it for the Major Berserker anyway, so the damage is kind of negligible. Okay, and oh, right, Dragon Knight's got a bug fix too. Anyway, moving on. I'm just kidding, DKs, you know I love you guys. Yeah, Dragon Knight's got a bug fix, so, there's that. Good for you guys. When it comes to sets, there weren't really any changes for any popular healer sets. Honestly, the only people that really got affected by the set changes were DPS players, as Reliquin, Azurblight, and Null Arca got changed in one way or another. I don't think it'll be a huge shakeup for the meta for our DPS friends, but I would maybe just go check on your DPS homies, see how they're doing right now. Finally, I'll talk about the miscellaneous things. These won't have a huge impact on us healers, but will be nice to know. For my new healers out there, ZOS has increased the speed of mounts that don't have a lot of training and riding speed. My mount is fully upgraded, so I didn't create a new character to test it out myself, but you guys let me know if you notice a huge difference. The starter zone's got a graphics update. I don't really spend a whole lot of time here, so I haven't really noticed too much of a difference, but my artsy people may appreciate this change. A lot of disguises got turned into costumes, so that's pretty neat. Not all of them, but a good chunk of them so far. The map update was also a welcome change. You don't have to worry about seeing a bazillion way shrines and dungeons and trials every single time you open the Tamriel map, and it also now has the names of the zones in it too. In case I didn't glaze this change enough in my PTS video, the crafting champion point tree update is just wonderful. So many really useful slottables got turned into passives, and it's genuinely so refreshing to not have to change my green perks all the time. It's also now easier to see your Mundus Stone and its effects in the player menu, which looks pretty sleek if you haven't seen it already, so good job on that. There are some new dialogue options for my RPers out there. I think they're pretty cool. I'll be doing the prologue quest, which does feature some of these dialogue options on stream sometime soon, sometime after this video goes live, if you want to check that out. Finally, we've got some general bug fixes and what you've all been waiting for, the beginning stages of console add-on support. While I am a PC player, I know this is huge for my console people out there. You guys have been asking for this for ages, and I'm really happy that you guys are going to be able to use add-ons soon. If you need any help deciding what add-ons to get, I've got a video on my channel going over some of my favorites. And there we have it, a healer's guide to the Elder Scrolls Online Fallen Banners update. Thank you for watching, and let me know what you think of the changes. Also, let me know what you'll be getting up to now that Fallen Banners is here. Don't forget to subscribe and check out the links below so you don't miss a video or a stream. At the moment, I'm actually currently working on a Discord server for you guys to come chat and hang out and play games in, so that should hopefully be up before the next video, but I'll make sure to make an announcement whenever it goes live. I'd also like to take a moment to give a shout out to my Patreon member, Dylan Stewart, as well as my YouTube member, Austin Anderson. Thank you guys for your continued support, and know that I sincerely appreciate it. Finally, I think all I've got left to say is that I've been Doc. Take care of yourselves, be good to others, don't forget to try out these new dungeons, and I will catch y'all in the next one.